YouTube, how are you now? So I did a little stats comparison on some of the guns in Modern Warfare 2 um, to get an idea of the time to kill. So the weapons I have listed here are assault rifles and SMGs. All these stats here were gathered from sim.gg, so if you're interested in other weapons or you want to get into more detail than what's here, sim.gg is the website. They have all the stats data mined directly from the game, so it should be pretty accurate. So basically, you can also compare the time to kills on there as well. They give you a little line graph chart. I think that's good to compare like a couple guns, but once you start comparing a bunch of guns, it gets a little too cluttered for me. So it makes more sense to me when I put it into something like this. It just makes more sense to me visually. So we have the ARs here. So the guns, you got your fire rate here, and if you have different damage multipliers or different damage values for different things, so like upper torso, limbs. So a couple of the ARs have different, and then a couple don't have any, and then the SMGs compared against the SMGs as well, since ARs and SMGs are basically just different uses. So I mean, you would expect the SMGs to perform better up close and the ARs to perform better at mid to long range. So I just compared SMGs to SMGs and ARs to ARs. A lot of these have, actually all of these have different damage values too, at least torso and limbs, and one of them has upper torso and limbs, the Fennec 45. So basically, you have the numbers here. These are all your time to kill values in milliseconds. So optimal time to kill if you don't miss any shots, if you fire at the fastest rate possible. So red is the fastest time in that range. So we got 5 meters, 10 meters, 15 meters, all the way out to 75 meters. Orange values are within 50 milliseconds of that fastest time to kill. Yellow is within 100 milliseconds. Light green is within 150. Dark green is within 200. And then blue is within 250 and then 300. So that's basically just not not even worth considering. So so you got your fire rates here, and then I guess we'll just go over some of the standouts. So the big standout here with the ARs, I'd say overall, is going to be your Cast-Off 762. It has a really fast time to kill at pretty much every single range, and really good at long range. There are a few guns that kill faster than it, like up close within 15 meters, like this gun, and this gun does better too. But it's only by 38 milliseconds, and then here it's only 16 milliseconds, and then here it's only 8 milliseconds. So it's basically one of the top performers at every single range across the board. But it is a slower firing weapon, and it does have a torso and limb damage value, so it drops off kind of more into the mid tier in this little range here if you're hitting lower torso or limbs. But overall, I'd say it's probably the best as far as pure time to kill goes. But that's not taking into consideration recoil and then also handling and the slower rate of fire. Another couple standouts are going to be your STB 556 if you're hitting upper torso within that 15-meter range. It's kind of average beyond that and actually pretty bad at longer ranges, but up close it's a monster among the ARs, because this time to kill is actually on par with some of the fastest SMGs up close. So it's basically what it's meant to be for. But if you start hitting the torso and limbs, it falls out of line. So mid tier here, and then pretty bad across the boards there. So it's really good up close if you hit upper torso, but other than that, not too good. And then the Cast-Off 74U, also really good up close. Even if you're hitting torso and limbs, it's really good out to about 20 meters. And then beyond that, it's average to really bad. So what else we got? The M4, I mean, the M4 is decent. It's one of those guns that's really consistent. It may not be the best at everything, but it's good at anything. So it doesn't matter where you shoot them in the body. You're going to get the same time to kill no matter what. So whether you're hitting in the upper torso or the limbs, you're going to get the same time to kill. So it's consistently good. Not the best, but consistently good. So even this 222 milliseconds, it's 60 milliseconds slower than the fastest killing gun, but this gun's like outrageously fast. Whereas the cast-off 762, which is probably the overall best, it's only behind it by like 22 milliseconds. So that's negligible within 25 meters, but then it falls off at those longer ranges. So what else? That's pretty much it for that. Cast-off 545 is pretty bad all around. It's not good at really anything. It's okay in this mid-range and longer ranges, but there's better guns than that, and it's pretty bad at these ranges. So SMGs. So the overall standout is going to be your Fennec 45. It's really good at pretty much every single range, but it does have that upper torso multiplier, so it's the best if you're hitting the upper torso. If you start hitting the torso and the limbs, it falls out a little bit at those longer ranges, and even within these ranges if you're hitting all limbs. But that's true of basically every SMG. If you're hitting limbs, the time to kill drops considerably. So you want to be hitting at least torso, and then with the Fennec you want to try to hit upper torso as much as possible, but within the considerable range for SMGs anyway, as long as you're hitting the torso, you're still going to have a really fast time to kill. So it's only 15 milliseconds away from the fastest within that 10 meters. Only 36 milliseconds here, so it's a negligible difference. But I mean, all the SMGs are really good up close as long as you're hitting torso. If you start hitting limbs though, it's not that great, but all the SMGs are really good up close. But the Fennec 45 is definitely the overall best, I would think, at any range really, and it has the fastest fire rate as well. So and the bad one, this mini back, is terrible at range. You probably don't want to be using an SMG for that kind of range anyway, beyond 50 meters, but it's really bad at that range. So, and it's not that great even at the mid range either. So, and even here, medium performance, mid range. So, but yeah, every SMG is decent up close, which is what you would expect, but you got to make sure you're hitting torso and not the limbs. So yeah, just a quick comparison chart, just to give you a visual idea of what gun is good in what situation. It helps me. Hopefully it helps some of you guys to pick different weapons that you like for different scenarios. So, but yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.